Yay.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a working geo setup using the Helm charts on 13.9.3.
Yes, so we're on 13.9.3. We've just confirmed that we're able to replicate across. Everything's happy, so we can try and do the failover part of this, which the idea is to just try and translate, if I keep going to the right document, to try and translate what we see here into Kubernetes world. So, sorry. No, go away. There we go. So this part we would just so stopping the primary cluster. So if I connect to my primary, actually, so as we were saying, we can't necessarily stop stuff here, but we can try to. I suppose the documentation would be to scale it down. Off the top of my head, I don't know the commands for that.
I think it should be like kubectl scale the deployment name and -- replicas equals 0.
So what? We need the, because I know there's also. Let's have a look.
Yeah, it would be a GitLab Geo web service, I think. If you have tab auto completion, that should also do it. Yeah, I think up to default, like the other part is automatically generated, but the deployment name should be like GitLab Geo web service default.
Oh, okay. So. Okay.
Yep. And then
I think I'll need
-- replicas equals 0 or something.
I think after the scale.
Yeah, it should work.
I don't need that namespace.
Yeah.
So then just sorry, scale, not scale. What was it? Sorry, replicate equals 0.
-- replicas equals 0. Like up down to 0 replicas.
S. Plural.
Yeah. Equals 0. Right, you need to add deploy as well, like scale deploy and then GitLab Geo service default. Just to know that we're scaling down the deployment.
Is it deploy or deployment?
I think both should work. Yeah.
I have to admit, you know the XKCD comic about like the nuclear bomb and the tar command? Yes?
Yeah.
So,
I don't think I've said.
I'll send it to you. It's like, you know, quick, you have to like create a valid tar command, you know, to like stop the bomb from going up without looking into docs anywhere. And Catalin is my top one pick for somebody who I believe would be able to save us. Whereas I'm always like, darn, you know, like I need to like tar something Google every single time.
Nick, is your context in the terminal? I guess it's the
Yeah,
same
no, it's not. This
right?
is what I just realized. So
right. Yeah.
I put it back to 2 to turn that one back on, and now I need to change it over. Too many things that do too many different things. So that one's coming back up, which is fine. So now the primary here. Okay, straight away, that's better. So we're saying probably web service, Sidekick
And
as
then
well.
Psychic, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So
this is
Geo,
like
Sidekick all.
at the step where we assume that everything is replicated, but we're turning this thing off is what we're
Yes.
doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Geo, Sidekick. Sidekick all in one v1, I assume is what I need to go to. Yeah.
I mean, I have to admit, when you see Kubernetes and you have all of these services in there and you can scale them up and down, it is kind of neat. Like once you see it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay, that's good. That's one. And do we think there's any benefit in doing the ingress default backend? I mean, I assume here, if I refresh the primary,
Yeah, there shouldn't be anything.
we're just gonna get this, so it's not necessarily gonna do anything, I suppose, is it?
Yeah.
You'd probably just get a worse message than this. The screen share has popped up in the way. Put that down there. Okay. So yeah, we can say we've stopped, and I think a lot of this here is still very valid. Like this is the, remove from the load balancer, but we just a new section for saying those the scale commands. So then promoting our secondary, this is where it's removing the secondary role from our cluster and
but we do have a multi-node machine here, correct? As in, this
oh
is,
yeah, sorry, I haven't scaled enough.
right,
Sorry, you're correct. There we go. Yeah, so with multiple servers. So the secondary database, that's fine because we have that, because that's external from the cluster, so we can easily run promote the DB.
Yep.
This is always a lot
We've always
quicker
had that, haven't
than I think it should be. As in, it is just like bam and you're done.
Yes,
and
it's like, did you do anything?
Yeah.
It's always concerning.
Yeah, I think that's just a history warning because we're running it as root, and Postgres is trying to save its history. I've seen that quite a few times too. But it shouldn't.
Yeah, that's actually it is fine. It's actually in our backlog as a small thing to fix. I think Nick actually reported it.
Yeah, it's confusing. It sounds worse than it is. If you don't actually know what's happening, it's like, did it fail? So next we want to remove the role. So from this machine, I believe we do actually have in here. So yeah, we can just remove the role from there and do a reconfigure. The part we're less certain on, which is what we need to try, is if I so this is the YAML we used to create the cluster in the first place. Now it says about removing the secondary role. So is that just a case of changing this to be primary and rerunning?
How does the
I kind of expect that to be the case, yeah. Because
is this the case though on the primary, as in it has a geo role enabled defined?
Yes. So I can. So the primary cluster is set up saying that geo with its geo node name is enabled and its role is primary, and the secondary is the same, but we have the role of secondary and we have the tracking DB.
Yeah, I was about to say we probably want to remove the tracking DB connection info as well, just to be extra safe.
So we actually want to just delete.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like when
Still learning all of its fun. Like I was watching the video when you did all this kind of. I can't do half of that stuff, but I remember some commands.
I find DD for deleting stuff is like very satisfying a bit because it's in my mind I translate it to like delete, 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 delete. Yeah. Okay.
So now I suppose the theory would be that we would run. Because I'm scared now, I'll make sure I'm on the right cluster. Just gonna run it before every command. Okay, so then it would be.
So you see, just a second. If we look back at the docs, I think the problem is that here I think we'll want to run that set secondary as primary command first, if I'm not wrong, because I think that's going to check if it's a secondary before actually doing something.
Oh,
so
hey,
if we make it a primary. Yeah, no, because like.
So we can do that from the task runner.
Yeah.
Quick question though, because the like removing the configuration from all of these nodes reconfigures the individual nodes as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but that's fine.
Yeah.
So you would say run this before updating the cluster.
Let me just double check quickly, but that's how I know it was doing it before. So it was essentially checking if it's a secondary, and if not, it's bailing out. So if we make it a secondary, if we make it a primary, it's not gonna do anything. But yeah, it's going to say this is not a secondary node. So I think we should run it now before.
Okay.
I just want to check because I don't actually know. Yep, I'm on the secondary. Cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
That first layer.
I need to still look up what this actually does under the hood specifically. Okay.
So now run the Helm upgrade.
Yep.
We can. So I'm not sure what we're waiting to see, I suppose. Is it just now keep refreshing the secondary and see, or I don't know, yeah. As I was watching the clusters, not
I mean,
provide
the
that
upgrade
much.
needs to finish, right? I suppose.
Well, this is true, yes. Because I know, yes, it never looks like it's doing anything, and then it suddenly does a lot.
Yeah.
But then, yes, this command finishes, but the stuff is actually still happening.
Yeah.
Great. So this is actually recreating all of the individual pods, I imagine.
Yeah, with the new configuration, yes. Essentially, reconfiguring the hammer way, just recreating them.
So I know here, like we rerun migrations, like the pod. I don't know if that's necessary technically, but
yeah, I mean, I think it just happens.
Yeah.
Whenever we upgrade, yeah.
Yeah.
Although this is my secondary, it actually already doesn't say that it is a secondary.
Okay.
It is still going, obviously, so we're still missing a couple of sidekicks.
I think I may ask you to close these pop-ups. It's like.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have
It
at
does
least
look
one
like
of
that.
each, right?
Yeah.
What is the red one?
Well. That's
Or
the
not.
psychic.
Yeah. So one of the web service is in. Right, I think that just started.
Yeah.
Or it's starting.
Yeah, I think it's still just going, so we probably just got sent to the wrong.
Yeah. Awesome.
It looks
Can
good.
we see the previous one?
No.
As well.
Just kind of updated.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we're good
Nice.
here.
Mm-hmm.
The previous.
Awesome.
Everything looks happy.
Yep.
Can you create an issue? Just.
Yay.
Holy smokes.
That's the failover.
This is still.
I mean, you could argue. I mean, so first question, this thing, because it's on Kubernetes, is scalable, right? So you could have this configured in a way to serve 1,000 users, but you could have it configured to serve like 50,000 users, correct? Ish,
Yeah.
let's say,
yeah.
right? But because Helm reconfigures all of those nodes based on the YAML file, you don't have to edit anything other than this one file.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is exactly the kind of situation that we are trying to achieve for Omnibus on some level, right?
Yes, yeah.
So,
Helm is the new Omnibus.
I'll deprecate Omnibus now.
I was going to say the only thing we have is for our hybrid environments. Like we only have Sidekick and web service inside Kubernetes. Everything else lives outside. So, I mean, the process would still be the same. You just have to do similar to the original process. You would just have more nodes you'd have to run the commands on. So, and as we know, most of that is actually just removing the geo secondary role and reconfiguring. Like, that's the biggest chunk of work really normally, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think this is like what we're trying to do with the geo cluster file is to essentially provide a YAML file or a JSON file, right? That has exactly the same functionality in a way as the Helm YAML file, right? You just change the role for the cluster and then, yeah.
The other thing is this one.
What's with
pod.
the last? Yeah.
I can't connect to it. I can't. Maybe it's just not really there.
No API server connection. Maybe try restarting k8s or something, because that's that kit has failed.
K9s CLI. That's actually very neat. I've not seen this before. In my previous company, like 3.5 years ago, we migrated everything to Kubernetes. That was a bit the Wild West, I felt. It was like pretty, like changes were happening a lot. So
yeah. That's all you can't reach.
Okay, well, the failover process broke K9s for me, but other than that, it seems to have worked.
Does kubectl work? like get all or something, because that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Just try.
I mean, the cluster is still up.
Yeah, it's still up. It's still there. Everything's good,
Yeah.
but for whatever reason, not sure. Is the primary complaining? Is it my machine? Is it something?
Yeah, that's odd.
No, that seems okay. So yeah, it's just, I don't know whether it's just terrible timing or I don't know.
I don't really see how that could have broken like the entire cluster. That's
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Oh,
okay, it worked. Right, yeah. And the new pod.
yeah, so
finished,
now
and the other
the
one's
new pod's there.
terminating.
That one's
Awesome.
terminating, which is correct.
Mhm, mhm.
Which is, yeah. Not sure what this is though.
Yeah, I see. Is this recent? Maybe it was from before, because I don't expect. Oh, right, it's the C injector. Not sure what that pod is used for.
It was happy, but then we did whatever just happened. There was maybe a network blip that it's just happened as to why I couldn't connect to it, and now I can. So
yeah, I mean the pod was probably failing because of the network issue as well, because there was like a dial issue in the logs on that C injector pod.
Yeah, so it's now
okay, it's
restarting.
Awesome.
So
cool.
So okay, bar that weirdness, it seems good. Just cut that part out.
Will do. But yeah, so I think the failover was pretty much a success. And
yeah. I suppose now I just need to document those steps, which again, like I say, for this is quite simple. For when the majority of our cluster is in Kubernetes, it really is. It's like failing over a single node, pretty much. It's very fast and just a single command.
Yep.
So
awesome. Gonna stop the recording now.